My friend. We have got a great guest with us today. We have just been playing. We've been playing some incredible music from this artist, and I am so happy that we've got her on with us today here on our big program. So, Allison, talk to us a little bit about "Build It Up." We just heard that a few moments ago. Talk to us a little bit about this.
Yeah, well, Build It Up is a is my debut track from my Ali G project, which is my hip kind of electro hip hop project. And it was about some people would call it Williamsburg, some people would call it Bushwick. People didn't really know what to call it, but it changed so much in the 7 years I lived there. When
Yeah.
I was there, nothing was really going on. There was like one coffee shop, one like hole in the wall bar, and after 7 years, there were places you could get brunch, and there were like all these like fancy, what we call bodegas, or kind of corner delis, but like where you could get vegan sandwiches, and there was this really popular vegan donut shop, which I mentioned in the track
I
also.
know. That's one thing I think is amazing. What in the
Yeah.
fuck is a vegan donut shop?
Well, it means I guess they don't use, milk or
Just,
eggs or
it's
anything like that.
amazing. So, this track is really catchy. Talk to us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so I originally kind of made some beats on my own, and then I brought it to my producer, who produced this track, named John Block, and he kind of took the ideas of what I did, and then I think, he really emphasized the chorus, and he kind of also, in the later choruses, put the part where I'm singing a little bit, like underneath the main chorus.
Okay.
So I feel like he kind of emphasized the catchiness of it. Like, I mean, yeah, if you say build it up, it's catchy, but I feel like what he did to it made it even more catchy. And people might maybe sometimes be confused because they think it's like, oh, build it up, build it up. But I'm also kind of talking about how, there's just like all these condos being built and the neighborhood is changing so much. And so it's catchy and upbeat, but I'm not necessarily saying like it's the best thing that's going on.
That's awesome. We have got Ali G with us today. She joins us live here on our big program. So, tell us a little bit about the cover design for this new album, because Superpower is pretty amazing. Talk to us about the design of the album.
So yeah, we wanted something that was a little different than Build It Up. So Build It Up was just kind of like a still from the actual video. And for Superpower, when I say we, we're thinking like my management team, kind
Yeah.
of the team I'm working with, we were thinking about doing something that leaves a little bit more to the imagination so that you might see that and not maybe know what, because we do have a video that's going to be coming out kind of soon that doesn't really look at all like the cover. So it's just kind of something, kind of that pow type of feeling from like comic book stuff, and it's like pow, boom, bang, like
Yep.
something that kind of
Yep.
is in your face, but also has this maybe playful element to it. And something that's just kind of colorful and catchy and, yeah, more graphic, I would say.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we played Superpower as well. Talk to us a little bit about this track.
So this track is about that just being a woman in itself is inherently a superpower. Women possess many superpowers, and I kind of wove in experiences that had happened to me, like getting mugged and being sexually assaulted on the train
Yeah.
in New York, and how in these fight or flight situations, I realize I'm a fighter, and even though I'm this small person, I think people might think, oh, that's an easy target. Like I kind of scare people away from me is what has happened. And so and then it made me think about, I don't know if you've heard that story about the woman who's like got what's called like
Yep.
hysterical strength, and she lifted the car up. And so the whole thing of that, we possess a lot that we might not possess on seemingly an everyday basis, but like when we need to kind of kick things into high gear, we can be really, really powerful, and it maybe doesn't matter our gender. And then also in being women, just the fact that we can give birth and like sustain life, that's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was weaving all that different stuff together and just kind of wanted this empowering message of like, we are very powerful just being women. You don't have to have, scary circumstances to show that.
Well, yeah.
Just, but just there's so many things, from my life, and then just thinking about women in general and wanting to kind of just like recognize that and lift it up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what has been the reception to the music so far?
It's been pretty great, actually. I mean, I only have 2 tracks for this project, but I think people seem to really get it. A lot of places are kind of commenting on how there's like a social conscience, but it's also like what I'm doing is also catchy and fun, and kind of how that can maybe be brought together. And also that it's kind of, a little different because it's like I'm hip hop, but kind of electro, but kind of pop, and sometimes comedic, but also again, like it has that catchy element. And yeah, I think it seems like people are into it and having fun with it. And I like that there can be this element of fun to it, but also that like if you listen more, you might, hear some deeper messages.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. We have got a great guest with us today. Ali G joins us here on our big broadcast. And talk to us a little bit about how you got started doing music.
Well, I got started doing music was when I was very young. When I was 6 years old, I was really obsessed with the piano, and no one in my family played any instruments. And I asked for piano lessons for a couple years until my family finally let me do it. But then I didn't really start. I always wrote my own music for me, but I did years later, like my own personal music.
Yeah.
And I just really got the bug, and I started doing singer-songwriter type of music. And then when I moved to New York City like about 14 years ago, and I went to a hip hop show, and I really loved the energy. It was so different than the singer-songwriter clubs I was playing in with like acoustic guitar and piano. And I started incorporating beatboxers, like live beatboxers, into my singer-songwriter set to kind of give it a little bit of that like rhythm and different type of feel and energy. And then kind of as a joke, I started writing raps, and then I would do them at shows and people were into them. And then I started putting some more energy into it because some industry people I was having meetings with said I never really heard anyone do it like this. And I was like, really? You think I should pursue that? And they said like, yeah, see what happens. And it's kind of fun to combine a lot of things, I think, into this project. So that was a big answer, but
that's awesome. We have got Ali G with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast, and you, of course, are listening to the Jiggy Jaguar Experience each and every Sunday here on 990 WBOB out there in Rhode Island. Also, the Mix on Tuesdays. Podcasts available. Yes, it's that show. I can say that. Podcasts are available at TalkShoe and iHeartRadio. So where do you see yourself in a couple years with your music and everything that you're doing there, Ali?
That's a big question. I hope to be on more stages and hopefully bigger stages. Doing my thing. I love, what I get to do with the Ali G project that's different from my singer-songwriter projects is I get to really dance around and own the stage a lot more because I'm not tied to an instrument. And I love having fun in that way. And I've had some music in like film and TV, and I'm hoping to do more work with that because it's a good thing for artists to, get people to know your music more when it's in other media. And so I'm kind of pursuing those 2 avenues of the live performance, and then also working on getting either some songs I have placed in film and TV or some of my other singer-songwriter stuff as well, which is my Allison Greenfield project. But I always have a lot going on. And so I'm just hoping that I basically want to connect to more people that connect to what I'm doing, to have fun and hopefully give some important messages,
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Allie G joins us here on the Sunday radio broadcast, the Jiggy Jaguar Experience, each and every Sunday on 990 WBOB in Rhode Island. And, of course, you can join us each and every Sunday, 2 Central, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific, and 1 p.m. Mountain Standard. And, of course, live videos at our website, jiggyjaguar.com. And KJAGradio.com if you want to hear all the music interviews as well. Well, Allie, you have been a treat. This has been so much fun. I have really enjoyed your music. That Build It Up song is one of those songs that you can get stuck in your goddamn head. So that is fantastic. Before we let you go, how do people find you on social media and the websites and everywhere else?
So everything is at official Allie G. So it's a OFFICIALALYG.
Fantastic. Well, Allie, thanks for making some time for us today. Really appreciate the time. We will talk to you soon. Thank you, my friend.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Great
Appreciate
to be
it. There she goes. That is Allie G. And not to be confused, I didn't want to do this joke when she was on with us because she frankly, I think, could kick my ass. I didn't want to do the joke of comparing her to Allie G, the Allie G guy.